Hi, my name is Noah Kolb. I've been a teacher and a broadcaster, and today I'm bringing you a guide on how to use simple broadcasting software to make your online presentations and video conferences more professional and engaging. I'm making this guide with the intention of giving tools to teachers to help you improve your online classroom, but these concepts can easily be used to add some class to your online staff meeting, religious service, or even a role-playing game. Basically, what we're going to do is install a virtual TV studio in your computer and make you the director. And then we're going to make it so you can broadcast your TV show onto Zoom, Skype, Discord, or whatever other video conferencing or online teaching software that you're using. But don't worry, you don't have to be super tech savvy to figure this out. I might go through things a little quick for the sake of brevity, but you can pause and go step by step with me if you want. FYI, I'm going to be focusing on how to do this in Windows. If you're a Linux user, it's similar. I'm going to assume that you can figure out the differences as we go along. But on a Mac, parts of this might not work or might take extra steps, and I'll talk about that more later. First things first, let's download the program. We're going to be using Open Broadcaster Software, or OBS. It's free and open source and trusted by thousands of independent broadcasters. Go to obsproject.com/download, or simply go to your search engine of choice and Google OBS. OBS Project should be the first result. Just click the download page, select your operating system type, and click Download Installer. Run the installer, click Next a bunch of times until it's done, and you should have a new OBS shortcut on your computer. Once you have it installed, open the OBS program. It may ask you to update as soon as it starts. Go ahead and tell it to update and wait another minute for that to happen. When you open it up again, it will probably ask if you want to run the auto configuration wizard, to which the answer is probably yes. If not, click on Tools and select the wizard that way. You can use this program to broadcast to Facebook Live or YouTube or Twitch or whatever, but I'll go into that more at the end. For now, we just want to click Optimize for Recording. Just click Next on whatever it says a few times and you're set up. Okay, we just have one more step needed to be fully operational. Go back to your search engine and type in OBS Virtual Camera. Click the first result and don't get scared by the complicated looking page. At first glance, I thought it had a lot of work that I needed to do, but it's actually just hidden inside the secret download button at the top right. Click that, download the virtual cam installer, and run it. You have to accept the agreement, but again, you just click next on whatever it says until it's finished. Once it's installed, if you reopen OBS and click Tools, one of the options should be called Virtual Cam. If it is, you're good to go. Now you should be able to broadcast to anything that would normally access your webcam. Before we turn that on, let's add some elements to our virtual camera. Right now you should see a black square in your OBS application, and if we started now, that's all people would see. All the different things we might want to show are going to be different sources in OBS, so let's add a few common ones. One obvious one is that we probably want our real webcam to be part of our virtual TV show. So let's go to the sources box and click the plus sign to add a source, and then click Video Capture Device. Create New will pop up as the default, which is convenient because we're showing OBS a new device that it hasn't seen before. It might make it easier to keep things straight later if you name it webcam or something like that. Your webcam should pop into view, but if you have more than one, for example, if you already have a document camera hooked up to your computer as well, you might need to click the drop-down menu to select whichever one you want. Then just hit OK and it will be added to your sources. Now you can click the corners and drag it to make it bigger to take up the whole area, or smaller, and you can click the middle to drag it wherever you want. And by the way, once you have your camera set up, you can also hold the Alt key and drag the corners to crop the view, so you can focus on what's important. Once you get the view that you want, you can let go of Alt and resize the result again if you'd like. Okay, let's say you want your class to see you in front of the virtual classroom, but you want a diagram or a picture that you're referring to also be on screen. Let's go back to Sources and hit the plus sign again, and this time click Image. I'm going to use a diagram from a lesson on ecosystems by Impact Science as an example. So I'm going to call this source Ecosystem so I can distinguish it from other images I add in the future. Just hit Browse and find the picture on your computer, hit Open and OK, and it will be added to your scene. You can edit it the same way by using the corners to change the size, by holding Alt to crop it, etc. Now this process is exactly the same for whatever you want to add. Click the plus sign, select the type, tell it where the item you want is. So I'm not going to bore you by repeating myself for every type of element. but I will quickly cover what a few of the most useful ones mean. Color source will simply add a block of color, which can be useful for making a background or for covering up parts of a worksheet that you want to reveal later. Text adds text. Media source is for adding a video, although FYI, the sound on anything that you play won't be put out by your virtual camera. You also can't pause or fast forward to parts of the video, so you may want to use another source, window capture, and have it capture your media player. Window capture captures anything on your computer. It could be a web browser, it could be a media player, it could be a set of PowerPoint slides, whatever you like. You can crop out the media controls or the slides so that you only display what you want your audience to see. Now, window capture is sometimes finicky, so if that doesn't work, you can also use display capture, which captures your whole monitor, but you can then crop it down to the item you want to show. Keep in mind that if you move that item, though, it will go out of view. Now that we have multiple elements in our scene, we can drag them around and arrange them how we want. You might notice that sometimes if you add something, it might get in the way of other elements. In the sources box in OBS, the items are arranged from top to bottom on what is seen first. So you can drag your background color to the bottom, for example, or you can drag your school logo to the top so it's always visible. If you've added something accidentally, or you just decided against including it after all, just click on the name and click the minus button to delete it. However, one of the best tools for controlling what people see is the eyeballs that are next to every source. If you click on them, they will hide or bring back each element, which you can do for your own convenience while you're constructing a scene, or you can do in the middle of your broadcast to make new elements show up at the time you want to mention them, or to disappear when you're done with them. Okay, great. There's just one more tool you need to know about to make full use of your broadcasting studio. It's time to make a scene, and I don't mean the kind of scene you make when someone snags the last package of toilet paper and you saw it first. In OBS, every layout of sources is called a scene, and you can make several of them to make it easy to switch between layouts while you are presenting. Again, just click the plus sign to make a new one from scratch, or if you want to have one similar to what you made before, you can right-click and click duplicate and then just change what you'd like. You might have a different scene for each class period with different labels and agendas, or you might have one scene for a class discussion and another for reviewing practice problems. The great thing about this is that you can set up everything ahead of time, and then you can just click on each scene to easily transition to different layouts. When you add things to a new scene, you might notice that instead of creating new ones, you can also add existing ones, which makes it easier if you've given your sources intuitive names. It also means that if you double-click a source to edit it, say to change the color of your background, for example, since it's the same source, it will change in every scene that it's used. Now I have a second monitor, just a cheap one from a thrift store, hooked up so I can keep my OBS control panel on there, but on one monitor you can also shrink it down so you can just see a mini preview of your output and just your scenes. Or if you're on a small screen with limited space, you can actually set up a hotkey for each scene in the settings and change them without looking. Just keep in mind that the OBS hotkey will also count as a hotkey in whatever program you're observing. Okay. You've got all your scenes set up, you're an expert at clicking them. There's just one last thing to set up, and that is to join your video conference. Go to the Tools menu in OBS, click Virtual Cam, and just click Start. Now your computer will think it has another camera plugged in, but it's really the output of OBS. The settings are going to be different for every individual video conferencing program, but the main point is that there will always be a setting to select your camera, and instead of selecting your webcam, you need to select OBS camera. Once that is set, everything that you see in your OBS preview box will be going out to your video call participants. Instead of just seeing your simple webcam, they will see your professional and organized presentation on their screen. You're probably going to impress your coworkers, maybe get a promotion, or best of all, your students will probably think you're super cool. Okay, you have everything you need now, but if you want to stay a couple more minutes for extra credit, I'm going to talk about a few more things this program can do. So first of all, if you have space on your computer and you want to save your lesson to upload later, just go ahead and hit the Start Recording button in OBS before your lesson. If you were in the configuration wizard earlier, it should just work. Hit stop when you're done, and there will be a file in your Windows Videos folder. Just upload that file to your favorite video platform, and you can send a link to the kids who missed it so they can catch up. Now, I glossed over this earlier to keep things focused, but OBS was actually originally created to help people broadcast their video games for others to watch. And so it's a great tool for you to use for any kind of public broadcast as well. If you want to show your school board meeting on Facebook Live or broadcast your science experiment on Twitch so kids around the world can watch, you can use the same OBS broadcasting tricks for that too. There are dozens of live streaming services, so I can't explain how each of them works, but there are some commonalities I'll go over. For all of them, you'll need an account with the service in question, so if you don't, set that up before anything else. For most services, you'll also need to find your stream key. It's a secret code that makes sure only you can broadcast as you, and it's usually written somewhere in your account settings on the service's website. But OBS can usually tell you where to find it. In OBS, just go to Tools and open the Auto Configuration Wizard again, but this time click Optimize for Streaming. As usual, the default settings should work, so just hit Next, put in the stream key or whatever information is required. Once that's done, if you click Start Streaming, you'll be live on that service. If you're going to live stream, you probably want to go back to your scenes and out audio sources in addition to the video. Use the source audio input capture to select a microphone, or if you want to broadcast any sounds your computer is making, you can use the source audio output capture to add your speakers or headphones as an audio source that will be broadcast. Just keep in mind that you need a decently powerful computer and good internet service to live stream, or the broadcast won't turn out well. A note for Mac users. Now, if you want to just do a live broadcast only to Twitch or YouTube, etc., then OBS will actually work fine for you as is. It's the virtual camera that isn't designed for Macs. If you do some searching for OBS Virtual Camera Mac, there are some people who have figured out some solutions that you could try, but they're more complicated than I could explain here, and I can't personally vouch for them. So good luck. Okay, so now you know what OBS can do. I've gone over the basics, but there's more to it. If you feel comfortable, you can find other scripts and plugins on the OBS project website to make it do more things. Or if you don't feel comfortable, you can find FAQs and get help on their website as well. I hope you have fun coming up with your broadcasts, no matter who your audience is. Okay, I hope you learned something useful today. Thanks for watching.